Stop using the word I. No one cares about what you think. We only care about what you can prove. Hello, everybody. It's Bob and T, No Followers Podcast. We're back again. And I know many episodes that T rants a lot. I can name the list. Tesla, grit. Jump in anytime you want about all your rants.
Yeah.
Almond Joys, multiple bags of chips. He's got a lot of rants.
You don't know how to buy chips. This is a larger issue.
Okay. I have a rant, but mine's always smaller. Stop using the word I. No one cares about what you think. We only care about what you can prove. We hear so many people come in here and say, I think, I want, I know. If you can't give me real metrics, you don't know. And what you know doesn't matter because it's what the market will accept that matters. And that's my biggest rant for the day. So there you go. You're welcome.
You're going to wrap that whole rant up that fast?
I'm wrapping it up.
Well, that's unfortunate because you kicked me off on a rant. Now I'm going to piggyback on your rant.
That's my goal.
Because I agree with you, you know? See, I used I.
Yeah, I
see what I did?
I'm going to poke you in the eye. See what I did there?
Yeah, I do.
I should quit.
I got the giggles. You know what I mean? It is true though. We do see a lot of people say that. Our thing is like you were saying, prove it. You know, it gets to the difference between. A lot of times I hear people use the word theory incorrectly, and they say my theory is this. Well, what they mean is my hypothesis is this, right? Because a theory has been proven. A hypothesis, that's your research question. And that's
your assumption.
That's your assumption. And that's what you're saying when you say I think people want a bike for everyday riding with integrated rear suspension. Okay, great. Prove that.
Disprove.
Right. My theory is that people would love to ride this bike. Well, that's not a theory. That's my hypothesis, right? That's that you're leading with and here's why I might differ from you a little bit. It's fine to start there. If you then go to step 2, which is prove it. If you start there and accept that as proven already, that's where it becomes an issue. If you start with I think and then go, and because of that, we're going to structure this whole business around that, that's going to be dicey. It's going to be a dicey problem.
I guess I should have qualified or clarified what I was talking about. It always starts with I. Every entrepreneur has a dream. They have an idea. But it has to quickly move off of you to who you're going to serve. But I was referencing a few meetings we've sat through where people are presenting us their ideas. They want funding. And I start counting the amount of times they say I. And once you reach a certain number in a certain time frame, I stop listening. Because all that says is you've filled a whole presentation with your belief system or your ideas and your assumptions, not one shred of market intelligence or customer feedback. So I hear a certain amount of I's in any interview and I'm done. You're not getting in here and I'm probably going to walk out.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the big things is you hit the nail on the head. You start with the I. But you have to quickly realize that even though you think you're your target market, there's a strong probability you're not. So you want to find out as quickly as possible, who is my target market and what do they value? And then use them to validate or invalidate your hypothesis. So I'll use myself as an example again. I could say to you, I think people would love a bike with integrated rear suspension that they can ride every day. It's my hypothesis. I have a list of 70 names that span from Germany to Singapore to all over the United States of people that have reached out that want to ride this bike. Which one speaks more highly to whether or not there's any interest in a frame like this? Me saying I think people want it, or me saying that there's a quantifiable number of people from various locations that have expressed interest in it? Now, I'm not saying that that's validation, but I'm saying that's a step towards it, right? Then you move on to the next step. One of them is more powerful than the other, objectively. And one of them holds more weight than the other.
I also think my issue with the whole I thing is it's not about you. Flat out. It's about what you're doing for a customer segment. It's what you're solving for your target market. So the I for me makes it all about that kind of stereotypical, egotistical business owner, entrepreneur. And most entrepreneurs and business owners think of the client 24 hours a day if they're doing their job right, because you live and die by that. What you think doesn't matter. You cannot be a customer of one and have a successful business. You cannot be a customer of one and build a product. And that's my biggest issue here. And I'm not the ranter that you are, so I don't get that wrapped up in it. I just speak my mind and move on. But
I'm surprised you have the same Italianness that I do. You're one of them Italians. It's a spicy meatball, as they say. So I get a little carried away. All right, I'm not ashamed of it, but you're more sedate. But I appreciate you going on the rant.
It wasn't really a rant. It's more advice to our listeners. If you're going out there and saying, I, no one cares. They might nod and agree with you. No one cares, because in the back of their head is they're saying, prove it to me. They're saying, what are you going to tell me beyond I that's going to make me believe what the hell you're saying to us?
Yeah. You could say it's something that grinds your gears.
I've never used that term, nor will I ever.
You can start right now.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Well, so the other thing that we see a lot with product stuff is, again, you start with the I. The thing that matters, especially for product, is getting that product market fit and getting that feature benefit alignment. Because we have a customer, client partner right now that constantly wants to add
new features
with no knowledge of whether or not it brings any added value to his target market. But he wants to add them because it's what he wants and because that's what's driving him. And we have to frequently remind him, the goal of this exercise is to get product in front of who you think your target market is and see what matters to them and make sure we have feature benefit alignment. The more things you throw out there is going to increase your development cost, increase your production cost, increase your logistics and shipping cost, but also muddy the water so that you don't have that kind of control variable set of things to see what matters to your customer. He is the origin of his product. But once you have that prototype, the goal is get it in front of your intended market, test it, and see if you're right or wrong. See what matters to them. Remove yourself and your thoughts and opinions from the equation and test it with data. And so I think that's where it leads you.
Yeah, and I think this was from another conversation we had about funding. Go in and ask somebody for money with your diatribe of I and see what they say to you. Because that is, or have somebody pay you and then just tell them all of what you think. I think that's a great test that you should all do. If you think I is going to matter, go to somebody that you don't know, even walk in a bank and see if you can get money, and see what questions they have once you give them the 15-minute speech about I think, I know, I believe. I think that's a true test that anybody could do.
Yeah.
Sorry, all the bankers out there. I just sent a bunch of wannabes in, but
yeah. Well, it's a good one, though. I mean, most people have experience with their own house and with their mortgage and with real estate. Imagine if when it came time to refi your home or to get a new mortgage, you went in and they said, okay, we need to figure out if you qualify for this mortgage. And they said, what do you think it's worth? And you went, I think it's worth $700,000. And they went, okay. They're going to need backup. They're going to need an appraisal. They're going to need comps. They have criteria for how they judge that. They don't just go, hey, Bob, what do you think it's worth? Give us your opinion. It doesn't work like that. So I think that's a great example for sure. You should definitely go do that.
You're
Not
welcome.
You, but
You're welcome.
Public, yeah. All right, Bob. Thanks for sharing.
Well, I feel much better.
You feel better, right? I know. This is like, it's cathartic. It's like therapy. You come in here, you get it off your chest, you put it out there in the universe, you wait for the hate comments to roll in,
I'm all good with the hate. I get them every day from you. And I'm trying to get through your market presentation to us earlier. So
hey, that was a good presentation. I did a PowerPoint. I had acronyms. It's good to go. And I didn't use I. All right? So on behalf of Bob and myself, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
thank you.
Thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing to No Followers Podcast. We'll see you next week.